Just close your eyes. Know the peace within.
Dear GM, how to play this dream? If I, as consciousness, I really want to realize myself, should I give up everything? How to move in this dream world?
First of all, know that you are conscious of your presence just now, and in your conscious presence only everything appears, everything moves, everything happens, and everything disappears. But for your consciousness, there's nothing here. Neither your presence is known nor the manifestation is here. Since you are yet to know the consciousness within, you are constantly trapped by the dream show, which is not you. If you are inside the dream, then who observes the dream? Your consciousness does not know that by accepting the form to be itself, it is still inside the dream. Your consciousness accepts the form to be real, the birth to be real, the disappearance of the form to be real, every happening to be real. That's why it finds it difficult to wake up, because you are strongly holding on to the dream play, which is not you. And here, you are conscious of your presence, and in your conscious presence, everything is spontaneously happening. The happening of space is spontaneous, the manifestation of the entire duality is spontaneous, whatever you term as objects, forms, movements, everything is spontaneous. What is not spontaneous here? Including your breathing, including the heartbeat, everything is spontaneous here only. But your consciousness is unknowingly accepting that it is born at the form level and it is moving at the form level, that it is going to disappear at the form level. At least now you have come to know that this is a dream play. So you are asking how to give up this dream play. First, to know that the entire dream happening is not by you. It is exclusively by the elements at an unexplainable speed. The dream just happens and you only observe. The manifestation happens and you only observe. Every object happens and you only observe. Every forms appear just now and you only observe. You are yet to know that you only observe the entire episode of the manifested duality. And there are no persons here at the conscious level. You are suffering, and your question that how to give up itself shows that you are still stuck at the personality level. Here there's nothing to give up. Only at the personality level, at the identification level, you accept that you are separate as a form, and whatever that appears as objects or forms are separate from you. So you say how to give up. At the conscious level, there's nothing to give up, because the moment you are conscious, world is there. The moment you are conscious, objects are there. The moment you are conscious, every form is here. How will you give up the duality, which is not you? You cannot even give up the dream, because it just happens and it just disappears. And you prevail prior to the happening of the dream, prior to the appearance of the dream, prior to the disappearance of the dream. You are yet to know the observer prior to this dream show. That's why I say, first know the conscious state within. Only when you know the conscious state within, your consciousness wakes up from what? From the perceived elemental dreamy play, which is not you. You are asking how to give up this dream play. There's nothing to give up here. The entire dream play is just happening spontaneously. And you are here only to wake up from this dream play, to know that you are already that. As long as you accept yourself to be the form, to be the person, you are unable to come out of the dream. Because you are giving reality to the dream which is not you. I totally uproot the ignorance that you are the form, that you are born, that you are going to disappear along with the form. And I make your consciousness conscious of itself prior to space, prior to the duality show, and to settle in its original non-dual source. Here, in your consciousness, everything just happens, right from the breathing, right from heartbeat, right from the metabolic activities. Every action is exclusively by the play of the elements. This entire duality play is exclusively by the elements, not by you. You only observe. The play goes on spontaneously, and you have nothing to do with the play except to observe it. The only possibility is to wake up from the dream. Cannot give up the dream because the dream is not you. Dream just happens by the elements. And you are already prior to the dream. You are already prior to the duality play, but unable to know that you are already prior to the duality play. What else I am doing here? Throughout the session, I help you to settle inwardly in your non-dual state, to stabilize inwardly in your non-dual state, and help you to know the unmoving reality within. The more and more you settle inwardly in the unmoving reality, lesser and lesser will be the movements within duality. Because you are not reacting, neither you are involving too much with the duality play. You simply observe and make use of the duality show whenever it is essential. Rest of the time, be with yourself. The only possibility is to wake up from this duality play by being conscious of yourself. Still you are more worried about the dream play. Why? Because you are unable to settle inwardly to know the unmoving stillness which is prior to the dream play. You are unable to settle inwardly in stillness which is unchanging. Only then can you remain free from the duality play which is ever changing. You are unable to settle inwardly in the stillness which is beginningless and endless. Only then can you remain free from the duality play, dream play which begins and ends. Just now you are already prior to the duality play, dream play, but unable to know. I tell you that your consciousness is already in the non-dual state which is unmoving and unchanging. But your consciousness is unable to know the unmoving state prior to the duality. That's why it goes on attaching itself and identifying itself to be the form, to be the person, to be the identifications within the ever-moving, ever-changing, dreamy duality play. The moment your conscious settles inwardly, beyond words, it starts knowing its unending richness, it starts knowing its infinite peace, it starts knowing its endless joy. Only then your consciousness remains free from the dreamy duality play. You need not give up anything because nothing is separate from your consciousness. You simply observe and remain free from words and identifications. You are constantly identifying that this should happen and this should not happen, as if everything is happening on your will. It's not like that. Here, you are no more a person, you are a conscious being. No person ever here. In your conscious presence, elemental play goes on. I call it as a dream play because it appears and it disappears. And that's no reality. Only when you wake up consciously in your original non-dual state can you wake up totally to know the eternal observer prior to the duality dream play. The only way to remain free from the dream play is just settle inwardly. You are yet to settle inwardly. You are yet to know the endless stillness inwardly. You are yet to know the richness of the infinite stillness inwardly. You are yet to stabilize inwardly. Only then can you remain free from the dreamy duality play. Here what else I am doing? Throughout the session, you are only closing your eyes and listening to my teachings, and by closing your eyes, you come to know the unending stillness within, that there is no movement. Only in stillness your consciousness is conscious of itself. Only when your conscious is conscious of itself, it remains free from the duality show. Only when your consciousness remains free from the show, it wakes up totally from the dream. So all that needed at present is to be conscious of yourself. And to be conscious of yourself, all that is needed is to settle inwardly. And to settle inwardly, all that is needed is just to close your eyes and know the stillness within as you are now. Even when you open your eyes, know the stillness. Then you know, out of the stillness within, out of the unmoving stillness only, everything begins. I tell you, everything begins in your consciousness, everything happens in your consciousness, and everything disappears in your consciousness. And there is nothing separate from your consciousness. So first to find out what is consciousness is, first to find out whether the perceived dreamy duality is real or not. The only option is to know what is real. You are wasting your time to find out the unreality instead of wasting time on the dream which appears and disappears at an unexplainable speed. Better focus your attention inwardly on your unmoving stillness within, on your unmoving conscious state within, on your unchanging infinity within. Once you settle inwardly in this unmoving stillness, the world cannot affect you, the dream cannot affect you. None of the play happening affects you once you settle inwardly. You do not know how to settle inwardly, that's why you go on worry about the duality show. But I teach you how to settle inwardly here. My whole teaching is only to take you inwardly. Because I am addressing this task only to the consciousness which is already inwardly ever present. That's why you are closing your eyes and listening to my teachings. Only when you close your eyes, you have every possibility to know the unmoving stillness within, to know the conscious state within. Then only your consciousness imbibes my teachings inwardly and knows its unending richness inwardly. Once you know the stillness within, you start knowing the peace which is endless. By knowing the peace, you start knowing the joy within, and through peace and joy only your consciousness wakes up. And you are asking how to realize, and you want to realize. That's why you are here. The very purpose of your being here is only to realize your eternal, unborn, supreme richness that you are already prior birth and death, that you are eternally here, that nothing never happens to you. First, know the conscious state within and settle in the conscious state inwardly. Then, even with eyes open, the world show cannot affect you, because now you know to stay beyond words and to stay beyond identifications. You can make use of the entire perceived objects whenever it is essential. Rest of the time, be with yourself inwardly. Settle inwardly. This is the biggest answer for your question. Just settle inwardly and you know why you are here and what is all these things that is going on happening at the dream level. The answer is within, and you are roaming outside, worrying about the dream play. Whether the dream play ends or not, whether the dream play begins or not, you are already prior to the dream play. See, you are already prior to the screen. Let the movie go to any extent. Why do you bother about the movie which is not you? Only observe the movie exactly here. Let the duality show go to any extent. It is exclusively by the play of the elements. Know to observe silently, then you are naturally free from that duality show, which is not you. First point is, your consciousness is struggling by accepting itself to be a person. That's why it wants to be inside the dream and unable to know that it is already prior to the dream. And only when your consciousness knows that it is consciousness only, already prior to the duality show, it settles inwardly, because you are already in the unmoving state, the non-dual state. You cannot move here and there, because your state is unmoving and unchanging. The point is, you are not settling inwardly, where you are already. Unknowingly, you are accepting the dream to be real. Unknowingly, you are accepting the duality show to be real. So, you appear to move here and there, but in your original state, you never move. So, I am taking you to your original state, which is unmoving and unchanging. Better stabilize in this state and wake up totally. I am certain your consciousness wakes up to realize that it is already that and always that. Do not worry about the duality show, which is not you. Can you prove anything to be real here, within duality, where everything is appearing and disappearing? Then why do you worry about the show, which is not you and which appears and disappears? Why not you focus inwardly and get to know which is unmoving, unchanging, and which neither appears nor disappears? That is your original state. You fail to settle in your original state, that's why you are trapped by the ever-moving, ever-changing duality state, which is not you. I go on remind your consciousness to settle in its original state, where it is already, and help your consciousness to remain free from words and to remain free from identifications, which is possible only by knowing the stillness within, which is beyond words. Your consciousness is here only to realize what it is, provided your consciousness is conscious of itself. My whole teaching is only to help your consciousness to be conscious of itself. At least now, know to settle inwardly. Remain unbothered about the duality show. I am certain your consciousness wakes up inwardly to realize its highest potential, that it is eternally ever present. Wake up and know that you are already that and always that.